Welcome to the Bay Beaches. Hey, what's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. Just your favorite sweaty savage on the internet. Your boy Mikey Savage 21, bringing you another movie review. And today we're going to be looking at the action comedy film known as Baywatch, which is based off the popular television series of the same name. And the film stars Dwayne Johnson, Zac Efron, Priyanka Chopra, Alexandra Daddario, Kelly Rohrbach, and John Bass. And this film was directed by Seth Gordon. Now, as far as the premise goes, basically Lifeguard Mitch Buchannon, who is played by Dwayne and Rock Johnson respectively, and a brash new recruit, played by Zac Efron, uncover a criminal plot that threatens the future of the Bay. But what is really at stake here? Is Mitch really willing to risk everything to save the Bay? Alright, so I saw this film last night. It was one of the first films I saw out of two. The second one being Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually enjoyed Baywatch, and I had seen some of the earlier reviews saying that it wasn't that funny, and so maybe I went in with lower expectations. But I thought, for the most part, the story worked. I thought the jokes really landed. Getting to some of the characters, Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing Mitch Buchannon. I love to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson in some of these movies because it's basically like he gets to be himself. Anybody who knows The Rock, even earlier back when he was in his early WWE days and WWF days, he was this funny, brash guy. And in this one, he got to be that funny, brash guy. We got to really see his comedic chops on display along with Zac Efron. And again, the chemistry that the two had with each other felt like a real buddy-buddy relationship. Like one buddy who's older is trying to teach this young buck, hey man, I got some life lessons I want to teach you. Make sure you grab a hold of what I'm saying. And so again, the character of Zac Efron has been in a slew of comedy films, and he always stands out in his comedic films. Now, unfortunately, he always gets shafted in some of his other films, but I still think Zac Efron deserves some good credit. And anybody who says that Zac Efron isn't a good actor, again, check out some of his other films that he did, like with Orson Welles, and even some of his earlier films that he did. Alexandra Daddario, it's always a pleasure to see her. I've always been a fan of her ever since I saw her in True Detective. And no, I'm not talking about the infamous scene. A favorite of her. And then, of course, I also loved her in some of the earlier films, including the Percy Jackson films. There we go, Percy Jackson films. I loved her in the Percy Jackson films. We got to see her on display and doing her action bit. And this one, we actually get to see her be a little bit of a main character, as well as being offer up some good back and forth with Zac Efron. Kelly Rohrbach, thought, was fantastic, playing, of course, the role of CJ. She was basically Dwayne The Rock Johnson's right-hand man. John Bass, my gosh, John Bass in here, man, was real funny, man. When I saw him in the trailers, I said, this is going to be the standout of the film. And in certain scenes, he definitely is. Now, getting to the villain of the film, Priyanka Chopra, I thought she made a good villain for this film. We really got to see her, again, display her evil and wickedness. As of lately, we've been getting a lot of female villain-led films, and I actually like that because, again, it's showing that females can be just as wicked and devious as most male bad guys as well. And I thought she was a real good foil for the Baywatch team. Now, again, the story overall, certain things with me personally did not work. Again, like usual with comedy films, some of the jokes do not always land. Some of it is a little outlandish. Sometimes the story felt like it was going nowhere and they were just repeating the same beats over and over again. Again, to me, dick and poop jokes are not funny. Weren't too many of those in here, but there were a few, and I was just like, oh, I don't really like those. Then there are certain character interactions that kind of don't make sense, and certain things that happen to certain characters. Like there's this one scene with one particular character who affected another character, and then all the rest of the characters are mad at that character, and then literally maybe about 3 scenes later, they're now all best friends again. And I'm like, okay, I get why you did that, because again, you don't have much time to tell the story, but I felt like you could have tightened that up a little bit. One of the other things that I want to spotlight about Alexandra Daddario was how underutilized she was in this movie. It basically became all about Zac Efron and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Again, respectively, they're your main stars, but I felt like she was really underutilized in this film, and they didn't really focus in on her strengths or what she really brought to this movie. But overall, I really did enjoy the film. Again, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Zac Efron, their relationship here in this film was what really made me enjoy this film. The way that they were able to play back and forth off of each other, even when they had to say some of those stupid jokes that made no sense, their chemistry made me believe and buy into this movie. So with that being said, as far as the score goes, I'm actually gonna give this one a 6 out of a 10. Again, it was one of the funny comedies I've seen in a while that is action, but it's not one of the funniest ones I've seen. But you guys let me know your scores down below. Did you see Baywatch? Do you plan to check it out this weekend? What do you think it's gonna do in the box office? As always, make sure you post your thoughts down in the comment section. Make sure you stay tuned because I got another movie review dropping for Pirates of the Caribbean on Sunday and a video game gameplay going up later on tonight. As always, thank you, and remember, as I always say, to become a savage, stay a savage, and peace out, y'all.